Good morning, everybody. How are you doing this morning? Man, oh man, is it a day? There we go. Man, oh man, what do we got going on? Got AW, good to see you. How are you doing? Holy crap. We've got Cynthia hanging out. We've got Ugly Truckling hanging out. Brenda, good to see all of you. I hope you're doing well this morning. If you guys haven't seen it, I put a new poll up there. I got some plans for tonight. Just depends on what exactly you guys want. We're gonna have a good time. Letting you know. Mhm. And we might do a little bit of all of them. But let's see how you guys are feeling. I wanna give you guys more of what you would. All right. This is one of those mornings, where you just there's things you want to talk about, but just look at them and you go, yeah, maybe I'll leave that one off there for a little bit. Just because I'm looking at these things and I just well, it's I just I'd love to talk about that, but it's not gonna go over well. It's like it's sad, sad. Well, here we'll start out with this one. This is this is what happened here in with Eric Gardner. If people don't remember, Eric Gardner was a man that was out on the corner selling cigarettes, and some overzealous police officer, a manlet of a man, put him in a chokehold. Now, just so you know, this guy was probably about 3 times this guy's weight. And, it it was not good, but I think because the AP is feeling a little lost right now with because they're not able to speak out on rhetoric against former former president, probably soon to be the next president. They've got to get some division happening, and that's all these stories are. They don't talk about all of the bad things that other people are doing, or is it maybe this was someone different. Yeah, I know that there was a chokehold on somebody. I don't know. It's so divisive. That's the point of all these stories because it wants to garner up some emotion. These things happened under Obama. I mean, do people not remember this? That these divisive actions happened under Obama. They weren't anything to do with Trump. And and then it so happens that somebody has got fentanyl in their system and a police officer didn't help out whatsoever. They'll talk about Trayvon Martin. They'll talk about somebody that pulls a weapon out on a police officer, and it's shown that they pulled a weapon on the police officer, took their gun away from them, and whenever they're deleted, all of a sudden it becomes a black or white thing instead of people doing really dumb things and finding out what dumb action gets you. I'm not saying what they did was wrong or right. I'm saying that this is the kind of divisiveness that has to happen in this country for these people to have control over you and your thoughts and your emotions. Don't let them do this to you. Don't let them do this to you. This is not this is not where we should be as Americans. We should be hoping that the police are doing their job and that we're doing what we can to protect ourselves in every way, shape, form. Freedom is overall one of the hardest things to maintain. And I feel for these people here. You know, if this little kid right here, you just think about this. This little guy right here, or this little guy right here. If this was 10 years ago, they're well within voting age now. And they were used as tools. These kids are probably well within voting age. And if they're surrounded by lies and hate-filled speech, because as much as the idea is good, it becomes hate-filled speech whenever you have to go and burn down cities, destroy your neighborhoods. I don't care what color your skin is. This is always divisive. These people are making money off of the hate that they feel towards one person of color or another person of color or a police officer or a president. There's no place in the world for that. So, no, I'm not gonna glorify that the media lies, tells you half truths, and then comes back and fact checks it with more lies. So, through them, they can go park elsewhere. In an attack that shocks a quiet Oman, uh, gunman was killed, 6 wounded, dozens more at a Shiite mosque. And guess what? Where was it? Dubai. How does this affect us in the United States? None. Should this stuff happen? No, should never happen. But they will handle this as they find appropriate. Here, here's a this I find more interesting than any of it. Joe Jellybean Bryant, father of Kobe Bryant, passed at 69. I mean, that right there, Basketball Hall of Fame, Kobe Bryant, father has passed. The alma mater announced Tuesday Bryant, who spent 8 seasons in the NBA with 3 different franchises, was 69. Philadelphia Inquirer citing LaSalle coach and Fran Dunphy, ooh, reported that Joe Bryant recently had a massive stroke. This is so unfortunate. We're saddened to announce the passing of LaSalle basketball great Joe Bryant. School said in a new news release. Joe played for the Explorers from 73 to 75 and was a member of our coaching staff from 93 to 96. He was a beloved member of the Explorer family and will be dearly missed. Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and 7 others passed in a helicopter crash in 2020 in Calabasas, California, as they were making their way to a basketball tournament. Joe and Pam Bryant, who were married for nearly a half century, had a sometimes frosty relationship with Kobe, but they were in the front row for the memorial service in Los Angeles about a month after Kobe and Gianna passed. Sending our condolences upon hearing the news of my father in law's passing. Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's widow, posted Tuesday on her Instagram story. We hoped things would be different. Although the times we spent together were few, it was always sweet and nice to be around Kobe. Loved him very much. Joe was the number 14 pick by Golden State in the 1975 draft, and the Warriors wound up selling his rights to Philadelphia before the start of his rookie season. He played for 4 years for the 76ers, three for San Diego Clippers, and one for the Houston Rockets, averaging 8.7 points in 606 games. There, he embarked on an international career, stops in France, Italy. The years in Italy shaped Kobe. It was there that he started to truly develop a love for basketball as well, becoming fluent in Italian. But you didn't know that Kobe was fluent in Italian, huh? The family moved back to the Philadelphia area around the time that Kobe was 13. He became a high school star and was drafted 4 years later. I'm deeply saddened by the passing of Joe Jellybean Bryant and joined the basketball community in mourning a true Philly hoops legend. The Detroit Pistons vice chairman, Arn Tellman, Kobe Bryant's former agent. Our friendship opened the door for me to represent Kobe as he entered the NBA. Memory will always cherish. Joe was a devoted husband, father, and grandfather whose warmth touched everyone he met. Joe Bryant had a number of coaching stints, including for teams in Italy, Japan, and Thailand, as well as stints within the WNBA's Los Angeles Sparks, meaning he was coaching in the same city as his son was playing for a number of years. Imagine that. And good morning. Good morning, Star Z. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Not Sure. Oh, man. Make sure you guys, pay attention to that poll, get that poll, make it happen, touch the poll. Touch the poll. It's just it's sad that, this happened. I'll close that because that one is heated. This is a little scary here, folks, because whenever somebody starts failing miserably, it sparks this right here. Biden seriously considering proposals on Supreme Court term limits. Hmm. Ethics code, AP sources say. So, whenever you've got someone in a place of power and things start faltering, they start sucking wind. They start trying to make radical changes that will drum up support for them. If you don't like the way something's turning out, then what do? You take control of it. Now, something that's been tossed around with various presidents is what some will call stacking the Supreme Court or adding more justices to the Supreme Court. Now, the way that another thing that they can do is to put term limits on Supreme Court justices, which means they radically have to change the law. But remember that this also comes at the cost of what happens on one president's watch will continue on with the next president. So, for example, if they put term limits on Supreme Court, what happens whenever you've got a Republican in there? So, say, for example, we put a term limit on Supreme Court justices, and that becomes retroactive. Say that just happens to be what, 3 years, 2 years, year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. Some of those justices have been on there for quite some time, which means those justices will run out of their term and be gone, be removed. So this way you can bring in some more justices that will run for a period of time, and those that are currently there will be removed. This is not what we need, just like stacking the Supreme Court. Well, let's add more justices. I think the Supreme Court should have 12 or 50 or 100 Supreme Court justices on there. So nothing ever gets accomplished. They never hear any of the motions because, well, it just gets stacked. See, if these kinds of issues can be handled in the lower courts, that's what you want. You want these issues to be taken care of in the lower courts before you get to the highest court in the nation. Problem is they have not been paying a whole lot of attention to what the people are saying because they are separate from that. They're the judicial. We have the executive, we have the legislative. And if you don't know the difference between those, go take some civics. And I think Joe doesn't know the difference between his shoes and his wife's face. Joe Biden is seriously considering proposals that will establish term limits for the U.S. Supreme Court justices and an ethics code that would be enforceable under the law amid growing concerns that the justices are not held accountable. That's true. It would mark a major shift for Biden, the former head of Senate Judiciary Committee, who has long resisted calls to reform the high court. Since taking office, he's been increasingly vocal about his belief that the court is abandoning mainstream constitutional interpretation. Really? This is why you don't let the people into this situation. Because now you've got the executive that's dictating what the judicial can do. Put it through Congress. They want to turn the judicial system into the legislative system because mainstream doesn't like this. This is democracy. This is mob rule. What have we learned here, children, about mob rule? Mob rule is bad. Democracy is bad. What the mainstream says is bad because it doesn't follow the Constitution. Horrible. Horrible. Any changes would require congressional approval, uh, which would unlikely in a divided Congress. But with Donald Trump bragging about putting the three justices on the high court who are now part of the conservative majority, but they've not always sided with conservative values because they've interpreted the law according to what they know to be true. We don't have to agree with them, but at least they've decided. Biden's call for major changes would help animate his voters. What did I say? This is nothing but somebody sees that they are losing miserably and now is lashing out. Mm, morning, still up, no sleep, but don't have anything to do. So when I get sleepy, I can sleep. You take care of yourself, Debbie. You sleep away if you need to. Biden is also considering calling for a constitutional amendment that would eliminate the broad immunity for presidents granted by the court in his most recent term. There is a process for getting the constitutional amendment. I suggest, Biden, that that's what you do. And if you want to go after him for January 6th, go right ahead, brother. Because every time that you are kicking dirt at him and throwing rocks at him, every time that you do it, it makes you look worse and worse and worse and worse. Well, at least Biden ordered Secret Service to protect RFK Jr. after attempt on Trump's life. Consideration of such proposals comes in response to growing outrage among Democrats about high court's opinions that overturn landmark decisions. No, no. The court did what it needed to do. That even your precious Ruth Ginsburg disagreed with the decision on Roe, said that it was unconstitutional, said that it needed to be removed. It took the power, gave it back to the states. It did. And then federal regulatory powers that stood for decades. You mean fix the issue? This is ridiculous. Regulatory powers that stood for decades. So using the power of regulation to go after everybody and anybody, they said, yeah, this is not constitutional because you've not passed a law. It is not their job to do this. Yeah, like they care about the actual law. We know they don't care about the actual law. We know that they do not like the actual law whatsoever. There have also been increasing questions surrounding the ethics of the court after revelations about some of the justices, which, from what I remember, Joe Biden did not like Clarence Thomas. He considered Clarence Thomas to be an Uncle T, accused him of some of the most vile things that there was never any proof, never any truth to. No different than they came and they did to Kavanaugh. Never any proof, never any truth. They did more than help overturn Roe v. Wade. They sent it back to the lower courts. They said, if you want to handle this, you can have your states handle it. If you want to pass a law for it, then pass a law. But this, Roe v. Wade, is unconstitutional. And decades later, the lady that was there for Roe v. Wade over a lie even said that she lied. Supreme Court did not immediately respond to a request for comment because they don't have to. Biden speaking in a weekend call with Congressional Progressive Caucus, talking about the possibility, people said Biden often tells voters they need more Democrats in Congress and a Democrat in the White House to counter the impact of a conservative leaning court, but these proposals would go much further. And by the way, I'm not going to need your help on Supreme Court because I'm about to come out. I don't want to prematurely announce it, but I'm about to come out with a major initiative on limiting the court and what we do. And I've been working with constitutional scholars for the last 3 months. I need some help, he said, according to a transcript of the call. Well, I don't trust their transcripts because their transcripts are garbage. About 2 in 3 Americans say they favor term limits or mandatory retirement age for Supreme Court justices, according to some bullshit poll. Wonderful. According to June's survey on the court, confidence remains low. Good. It should be. Survey found that 7 in 10 Americans don't care. November, the court adopted its first code of ethics. The policy, agreed to by all 9 justices, does not appear to impose any significant new requirements and leaves compliance entirely to each justice. Hmm. Republicans have focused for years on remaking the federal judiciary and the Supreme Court. No, no, and no. Democrats have been doing this because if you're talking about Mitch McConnell, Mitch is garbage. Good to see you, Debbie. Good to see you. Good to see you, Debbie Webb. He refused to even meet in 2016 with Obama for the high court. Okay. Current Attorney General Merrick Garland, federal judge at the time, the nomination stalled until a Republican president, Trump, took over. And that's part of the confirmation process. That's the way that it goes. They did not want Merrick Garland. You do not want to have someone like Merrick Garland that has been a complete atrocious human being. So there is this because Merrick Garland got a little salty that he didn't get to become hmm, establishment GOP operatives back Trump because of his pledge to name as many judges to the bench as possible. Yep. Well, you could have Ruth Gator, Ruth Gator Toe Ginsburg, she could have jumped down. She could have left. No. Oh, she had to stay for another term and then she passed in office. Whenever she passed while she was holding that office, guess what? That just happened to be during Trump's term. Oh, because, that's how it goes. Democrats are now finally understanding the power of judges as a voting tool. No, they're separate from all of it. And Biden has made judicial nominations a priority, appointing a record number of judges for president at this point in his first term, including some of the most diverse picks yet to the judiciary. Now, there's quite a few justices, as we have seen, that have been in the news lately for shenanigans. Are you telling me that you want to have a Fulton County judge come in and become the next Supreme Court justice? One that has ex parte communications? You want to have someone weak willed, someone that does horrible things? You want that justice in there? That's been arrested? Yeah. Biden often speaks about those accomplishments during his reelection campaign, but Democrats have pushed him to go further. Trump, in a post on his Truth Social platform, panned the possible Biden move, saying the Democrats are attempting to interfere in the presidential election and destroy our justice system by attacking their political opponent, me, and our honorable Supreme Court. We have to fight for our fair and independent courts and protect the country. Hmm. That means that Biden, right over the mark of something that not going to be good for the country. As we've seen, happens quite a bit. It is on the anniversary of the fall of Roe v. Wade. A horrible decision was made. Camel Toe Harris is using the second anniversary of their decision and overturning Roe v. Wade and sending that back to the states. Argued that Donald Trump is guilty of rolling back women's freedoms and setting off a nationwide health care crisis. Uh huh. So if this is the second anniversary, tell me, dear Camel Toe, why haven't you amended it? 2 years ago, Donald Trump wasn't in office. Just so you know, it wasn't there. Who has control of the House? Who has control of the legislation? Is it possible that they pass legislation that could be signed by Biden, making it the law of the land to delete children? Hmm? Yes, he could, but that would probably get him booted from office quicker than anything. Of course, at this point, I would expect that that's going to be normal. Do I really expect her to do something? I don't know. It just depends on what you need cleaned. Donald Trump is guilty of rolling back now. Harris said Monday that Trump intended for his three Supreme Court picks to overturn Roe. It was premeditated. Trump had not denied, much less shown remorse for his actions. The vice president, in a nod to her background as a California prosecutor in the case of stealing a reproductive freedom from the women of America, Donald Trump is guilty. Okay. While President Joe Biden is sequestered Camp David preparing for this week's presidential, this is old news. Campaign push over the past week featured First Lady Joe Biden. Number of the women were motivated, overturning the federal protections, but the issue is now mostly in the hands of state legislatures and laws widely vary. Amazing. At least 25 million women now live in states with abortion restrictions are facing increasingly dire consequences. Really? How are they facing dire consequences? You mean they have to take responsibility for their own actions? Wow. Ah, idiots. These idiots. Claire, why don't we do this? We'll change this up. We're gonna watch Biden at his NAACP. I've been harping on him. He's such the smartest man they ever had. Yeah, you have to bring an actual case before it can be overturned. They don't just say we're changing that. I know. But we're gonna watch Biden here at the NAACP because we've got to showcase how great and wonderful he is. Because, he did such a great job with his interview with Lester Holt. Mhm.
My name is Gerald Biden, and the lifetime member of information. And I am all in. My word, I am all in. President Johnson, thanks for the introduction and for your leadership, most of all for your friendship. Thanks
Oh,
to
geez.
all the thousands of members of across America today. One of the most important organizations in our country.
No, it's
The
not.
special thanks, I mean sincerely, the members of Congress who are here, including Nevada's own Stephen Horsford, chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. I know where he is, I know he's out there. And so many members of the CBC members, if anything, them, like Benny Thompson of Mississippi, chair of the January 6th Committee. And the best friend anyone can have, Jim Clyburn of South Carolina.
Yes, it is crap.
In case you didn't notice, Jim turned around for
Can't do much about that.
Look, in June of 1947, Harry Truman became the first president to speak at this convention. And he was remembered for a lot of things. With the help of the NAACP, he desegregated the military. He laid the groundwork for the civil rights agenda. He built upon President Kennedy by that. President Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 64, 60 years ago. Harry Truman was president, was often counted out. He was also known for something else. Story goes, Truman said, "You want a friend in Washington? Get a dog." And guess what? After the last couple weeks, I know what he means. But that's why it's so good to have girlfriends. I'm not being solicitous. I have girlfriends. So many of you had my back, but I think I've had yours as well. I was a couple of Delaware folks here still. One of my best friends, when I was a lifeguard in projects.
Oh, Jesus,
he was,
no.
His nickname is Mouse. Mouse is
Oh.
very
Uh-huh.
And I'm not loyalist them. I'm truly honored to be here. It is this tense moment in this country. It is a tense moment. Just a few days after the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, we're grateful he was not seriously injured. We continue to pray for him and his family. It's time for an important conversation in this country. Our politics has gotten too heated.
Nope.
I said the Oval Office on Sunday night, as I made clear throughout my presidency. We all have a responsibility to lower the temperature. And
Yeah, he doesn't do it.
violence in any form.
But you've been creating it.
I
Again.
remember, we're not enemies, we're friends, we're neighbors, we're fellow Americans. Most important, let's fully and firmly reject not only physical violence,
Jeez.
but violence of any kind. Period. No exception. I have to say it with one voice. Violence is not the answer. That's what we should rally around as a nation.
Oh.
That's the unity I'm talking about. Two organizations.
Yeah. So he's trying to say that violence is not the answer, but especially whenever the violence is happening from his side. And their calls to violence is happening from their side. I need to add alcohol to my coffee. Yeah, exactly. He fell, according to the presser the White House wants to promote. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
Know that better than NAACP. For the race, riots, Springfield, Illinois in 1908.
Race rides. Were there race rides that spanked in Illinois, 1908? Hmm, really? I didn't know that. So were they nice races? Were they the camp down races? I'm wondering what exactly what races he's talking about in 1908. Wonder.
The NAAC was formed. That's what started it.
NAAC.
You know the pain, the price of violence. You understand, if you're going to talk about standing against violence, you must stand against all violence.
Oh,
You're standing against violence perpetrated against presidential candidates in Pennsylvania.
but you've been calling for violence all the time. It's just backfired on you. And your fear is now that the right is going to step up. And yeah, NASCAR riots. That's what I'm thinking. The NASCAR riots had to be. That Joe was there in 1908. Yeah. Ah. It was wild watching the news break on X and seeing the spin in real time. Mhm. Mhm. Black Wall Street burning down. That would have been in Oklahoma. Yes, that would have been in Oklahoma. That wasn't in Illinois.
We're standing against all violence. Violence perpetrated against George Floyd in Minnesota. Against black veterans like police officers Eugene Goodman on January 6th.
Why don't we talk about against Dorn? Why don't we talk about uh, Mr. Dorn that went to go help out his white friend in a neighborhood that was being destroyed, and a young black man that was stealing a TV videotaped his last dying breath. Why don't we talk about that? That was sparked during your administration. Why isn't that meant? Because, well, that doesn't fit the narrative. You want to talk about the police officers that were arresting a man on fentanyl. Did it get out of hand? Probably. Bad training, whatever it might be, but he's paying the price for it. Why don't we talk about all of the things that happened during January 6th or leading up to the January 6th issue that you seem to be so focused on? So you've made the Republicans out to be this violent group of people, but whenever they're they're standing up for their right to speak, and then you arrest them and use the power of government to arrest non-armed citizens, accuse them of insurrection. None of them have been tried under insurrection or won. If they were tried, they lost. Government hasn't been able to make a case on any sort of insurrection. There's been people that have been released because there wasn't enough evidence. There's people still sitting in jail for trespassing. You've made them into political prisoners. You've gone on the attack. You've attacked Republicans. You've attacked independents. You've attacked people's sensibilities. And now, whenever it comes back, bite you, NASCAR, right? Yeah, 1908 was. You notice they haven't been talking too much about the alphabet people lately because the alphabet people are a smaller minority of people. And so they're going to go after this group right here. Let's see if we can get these people fired up. Hmm, let's do it.
Black collection workers like Kirby Freeman, Shane Moss in Atlanta. I
But
stand against the violence and
what what bull hooky. I'm not gonna sit here and fact check everything that he has to say. Just know that 90% of what's coming out of his mouth is just a lie. It's become, like I said, let's make it a black and white thing. Let's separate you people from each other. Let's have this big argument now over black, white issues, Hispanic issues. Whenever he goes for the Latinos, it'll be the white Americans want to throw you out of the country. Yeah. Changing tactics because Trump is getting black votes. Trump is just getting votes. Doesn't matter black or white. Vote counts the same, believe it or not.
intimidation, white supremacy, the murder, innocent lives in the grocery store in Buffalo, New York when I went up there. Other annual churches across in South Carolina. Standing against the violence and murder of children in Sandy Hook and Uvalde. Concert cars in Las Vegas. Innocents on the street all
Oh, well, let's talk about Las Vegas. What happened? Haven't released any information on that now, have you? That one just sort of got brushed under the carpet. You don't want to talk about the person in Tennessee that went in and shot up a school. You don't want to talk about that. You don't want to talk about Lake and Riley. You don't want to talk about any of those. Amazing that you don't talk about the violence perpetuated that your party has allowed to happen. You don't talk about the horrible conditions that people live in Chicago where they're constantly in parts of gang. You bring up handgun violence and firearm violence and dangerous weapons constantly when law-abiding citizens are not the ones doing it. Constantly. Criminals. It's the bad peoples. But yet you will have your vice president that locks up minor drug offenses and keeps them in prison so they can put out forest fires in California. Mm.
across America that never make the news because you're involved every day in the communities across the country. Go to the outside one-on-one. Don't be silent on others.
Oh, I agree. That's what you're good at, right? You haven't been talking about it.
You want to speak about violence. You want to speak about guns. More children in America die of a gunshot wound than any other reason. That's stunning and that is
Not
sick.
true. Not true. Not true.
And it's sheer cowardice if we do nothing about it. So, you want to stand against
So let's do a little fact check. More children die of handguns? Really? I would say that, sucking them out of the mother's womb probably does more damage to children in America to the level that you can't even comprehend, Joe. Yet you support that. You're all about that. I mean, you want to talk about violence. Why don't we bring pull the rhetoric there, Joe? Because you're considering children that are above a certain age and to a certain age beyond what a child would be is what you consider whenever you're looking at your made up statistics. Why don't we look at the truth that you're killing them before they ever even make it out of the womb? And you find that absolutely okay. They don't even have a choice in that matter. You just go ahead and do that on your own. Yeah. Gang violence is included in that. Also, the stats are skewed to include all kids up to 19 years old. Children in the sex trade. Well, they don't include infants. They don't include the violent things that parents do to their children. No, they Let's show some skewed data and then make it sound like it's something that it's not. I mean, let's back up the truth trolley here, Joe.
Against violence in America. And join me in getting these weapons of war off the streets of America.
I've never seen a weapon of war on the streets of America. No,
An
no.
AR-15 was used in the shooting of Donald Trump. This was an assault weapon that killed so many others, including children. It's
Well, those
time
are
to
facts not proven
outlaw
yet.
them. I did it once and I will do it again.
Oh, he said he's coming after you again. Just now.
Now, just because we must lower the temperature of
Yeah,
politics and raise the
you
violence
haven't
doesn't mean we
lowered
should
it.
stop telling the truth.
You just created more division.
Who you are, what you've done, what
Oh,
you'll do. That's fair game. Harry Truman said, I never delivered to giving anyone hell. I just told the truth and they thought it was hell.
I never delivered to give anyone hell. I just told the truth and they thought it was hell. What? Yeah, it didn't get hunters off the street, did he? No. Nope. I miss trunk troll facking checkers. Top 20 most violent cities are Democrat cities. Only 18 are. Dummy. Bunked. Yeah. Keep Angry Joe away from the kids. Yeah, Angry Joe has got some issues here. He says, "Oh, we need to calm down the temperature, but I'm not going to stop telling the truth." Okay. So your violent rhetoric is what caused this crap in the first place. You're not going to stop. You only cool the temperature just long enough to say, don't attack us. Law abiding citizens don't do anything to us. And to point out that the right is so violent. Oh, so violent. Yes, we've done so many violent things, like maybe kicked people out of our country, took control over our own country, turned it into a constitutional republic. Well, he doesn't know what the truth is at this point, Debbie. He does not know what the truth is.
That's what I'm going to do. There is the truth about why Donald Trump's presidency was held for Black America. He tried to repeal Obamacare. He kicked millions of Black Americans off their health insurance. And a $2 trillion
No, he was trying to give Americans their agency back. He was making sure that all Americans were not slaves to the government. But you brought that right back, didn't you? Yeah. He's a bottle of ice cream and a shampoo cone. There's a difference between violent and malevolent.
tax cut will overwhelmingly benefit the super wealthy, the biggest corporation, and exploded the federal debt larger than any one president has in one term.
Wrong.
They have no room for us to do what we should be doing. Invest in things that affect people's lives, like
Wrong.
child care, elder care, and so much more that grow the economy.
No. No, they take the
This
economy.
management pandemic was especially devastating to Black communities.
No.
I know that other countries, other communities would call it. That economic crisis drove up black unemployment,
Other countries and
decimated
communities
small
of
black
color.
businesses,
Mhm.
and you peacefully protested George Floyd's murder. Donald Trump called for
No, the people that were protesting George Floyd burned down their own cities. They destroyed their own communities. People that were coming in and doing this allowed people like Antifa to come in there and destroy their communities, burn them down. A bunch of rich, white, entitled kids came in to the black communities because the black communities thought, oh, these people are for us. A bunch of masked hoodlums have come in there and destroyed the cities. Hey, you should be very mad because these are the same people that support Biden. All up until the point where they don't like what he says, and then they'll come for him too. And we're supposed to forget about 2016, whenever Donald Trump won the presidency, that they didn't come through in Washington, D.C. and destroy, burn cars, flip cars, throw gas, fireworks, all the destruction that they caused in Washington. You forgot about that in 2016. Forgot about that in 2019. Forgot about it in 2020. All of the damage that was going on throughout the whole time over the violent rhetoric that you've created and you continue to perpetuate, Joe. Your party is doing so much damage to the United States, and you're either incompetent and are not able to see it, or you're just blind. And I think it's probably a combination of both.
For the National Guard and left, what else the matter with this man? I'm serious.
Oh, they promoted they've promoted violence against Kyle Rittenhouse. Yeah, I mean, Joe sat down and said that, that Rittenhouse not good. Yeah, that wasn't a pretty thing to say. But hey, you do you, Joe.
Go figure. A guy who spent the person's lie against Barack Obama saying he wasn't born in America and he wasn't a U.S. citizen. Of course,
Don't care.
here's what he
What does
thinks of
that matter
black
now?
jobs. I love this phrase, black jobs.
Oh, you've been saying
So
that.
it's a lot about the man and about his character.
Really?
Folks, I know what a black job is. It's the vice president of the United States.
Oh, 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 that's so bad. Oh my God. He just called the vice president of the United States a black job. Oh, oh, dude. He didn't just say that. No. Oh my God. He just called her a black job. Oh. He had to go there. Dude. Ooh.
You know what a black job is? The first black president of the United States is Barack Obama. I was vice president. Black.
Mm.
And she was my vice president. I nominated the first black secretary of defense in American history. You're doing one hell of a job.
Wrong.
I nominated the first black woman to the United States Supreme Court.
Wow. Wow. Some stupid speechwriter actually put that in his speech. Yes. Oh my Lord. Yeah, that really shows his sensitivity towards the black community. Oh, you plebes, you don't deserve work. It's because if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. He's been talking about creating black jobs the whole time. You know what Trump has been talking about the whole time? Building up American. But we'll segregate you guys out because you just happen to have a different color. Oh, geez, good job.
I promised myself, and I promised America, that my administration would look like America. I'm proud to be the most diverse administration in all of history. It's happened the full House of the nation.
Yeah, because you didn't get people into that could do the best job. You hired based on the color of their skin, not the contents of their character. Thanks for taking away the agency. Taking away the agency of black people, white people, Americans. You've taken away their agency to be able to be judged by their merits and not by the color of their skin. Way to go. Way to go, Joe.
That's who we are. These guys don't get it. That's why we're so successful. I'm serious.
We do get it. That's
That's what makes us
why
the
you're not
greatest nation on earth.
successful.
It's not hyperbole. Folks, it's because of you. I'm President Kamala Harris is Vice President. She's not only a great Vice President, she could be President of the United States.
Oh no. Oh Jesus.
NAACP, black elected members in the Congress, we've gotten so much done. Seriously, President historian said we've gotten more done of consequence than any president since Franklin Roosevelt.
No, your economy
Just
sucks.
think about where the black community was when I came to office.
What after the Democrats destroyed almost everything that they possibly could? Yeah. After people like Fauci were in there? Yeah. After a pandemic that was made out to be BS? Yeah. After you guys made sure that grandma was locked away? Yeah. After New York turned down any sort of help? Yeah. Had a ship out there to keep people away, but yet you were putting people in nursing homes in your Democrat run cities. Where your Democrat cities ran wild and demonstrated and destroyed and burned things down. Yeah, that time. Yeah, all of that stuff. Yeah, listen closely. They're shouting, "No more years, no more years."
Think about how far the black community has come. We still got a long way to go.
But you don't know how far you need to go because you are a ship without a rudder. So how good are you have no direction because you've just made it all about black. You ain't black if you don't
COVID
marry.
no longer controls our lives. Our economy is not literally the strongest economy in the world. Historic black unemployment. Record growth of black small business. Let me say this again.
But after you destroy them, burn them down? No. No. No and no. You destroy the economy it coming into office. You've made it much worse coming into office. You've made it impossible for people to make ends meet. Um, yeah.
Again, because Trump is lying like hell about it. Black unemployment hit a record low under Biden Harris administration. First broadcasting for $1,400 checks less $300 checks per child, per family, per month in the pockets of people in this country.
No, it didn't.
To get them through the pandemic.
No, you made it worse. You continue to make it worse. And if you want 4 more years of that, hey, have at it.
Not Trump's administration. I'm on I do that. Put more money in the pockets of anyone.
And what about your southern border? What about sending billions of dollars to Ukraine? What about not sending any support to Israel, but instead supporting Palestine? Okay. By helping build back up Iran. Yeah, all your money is going to all of their little wish list, special interest groups, going to Ukraine and getting fled back into the United States and into Republicans and Democrats' pockets. If someone is voting for Ukraine, know where their interest lies. It is not with the American people, it is with lining their pockets. Oh, man.
We cut black, and the consequence, we cut black child poverty in half.
Yeah, because you're killing them off.
And when we finally get through to people, my economic policy grows the economy. We spend money.
Yes.
We grew the American economy to the strongest in the world.
No.
And I'm determined to make that tax cut permanent. No child should ever go hungry.
That's right.
And by the way, all the data shows that we can't let them tell us we drive up deficits. They drive up deficits. When you have child care, guess what?
Yeah, don't believe the don't believe your eyes. Don't believe what you see with your own eyes. Loud noises. Ah.
Mom or dad can work.
Except you send dad to prison. Because it's more economical for single moms to be single than be in a two-parent household. Wow. Good job. Good job. Yes. Biden economics. Mm, mm. No, that's not how it works. So Heath, over there on Rumble, that's not how it works. We don't do that stuff. That right there will get your channel deleted. So no, you want to follow, but don't try that crap. Not how it works.
The child will be safe. We're connecting black neighborhoods. They're cut off from old highways.
Really?
And disinvestment decades ago. My city, Wilmington, Delaware. I-95 runs up through what used to be the black community, divided, 6 lanes wide. We're going to make sure that the state's funded. We're going to be able to pave over the top of that and still have the highway. Connect.
What? So he's going to pave over parts of Delaware so they can still have a highway? That's weird. That is weird. It's all get out.
We're removing, which is costly, every poisonous lead pipe in the house in America so every child can drink clean water. Not for brain damage.
Oh, Jesus. Oh boy. More wish list of things that they will never do. Let's charge Americans for things that they never plan on taking care of. Wonderful.
We're delivering high-speed and affordable broadband. No child should have to sit out in the parking lot with their moms in front of McDonald's so they get.
What? Why are kids sitting out in front of McDonald's with bombs? No, kids, do not do this. Do not do this ever. Do not sit in a parking lot with bombs in front of McDonald's. Don't. Don't sit in front of McDonald's with bombs. Bad, bad. I'm telling you right now. No, 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 no. No sitting in front of McDonald's with bombs. Ever. Bad, bad, bad Biden. Need a newspaper to smack him on the nose. Lord. No, there's probably a crowd there.
Online, do your homework. And because of you, not only protecting Obamacare, you allow me to increase it, making health care more affordable. We're putting, and by the way, more than it's ever been. More than it's ever been.
No, it's not.
Millions of African Americans now have health care because of it. We're putting home ownership.
No, they don't.
Home ownership within reach. How do you generate?
As you notice, he says home ownership within reach. Doesn't mean they've got it. Just means that, well, it's within reach. Just slightly out of reach. Just slightly out of reach. You like that, Boosh?
Generational wealth, no matter what community you're from.
Oh,
I know how we did everything got stuck in Scranton with no jobs. moved to Delaware. Dad worked like hell to get down payment to buy a small house. That's how you build equity.
Yeah. How much was the house then? You want me to explain how much a house cost back then? Back whenever his dad moved there? Probably about 10, 15,000. That was the cost of a house back whenever his dad moved and bought a house. And it probably wasn't even that great of a place whenever his dad first bought that house. But then he moved into a bigger one, moved into a better one, bought and sold. And that whole time, they made sure that they lived in a nice, white, affluent neighborhood because Joe to be around kids of color, that might be a little bit too much. Because Corn Pop was such a bad man that he had to go and scare him off with a chain or some crap like that. Yeah, because I know my parents, whenever they bought their house, I think they paid less than 50,000 for it. Of course, that was also in the 70s. Interest rate was somewhere around 13, 14% whenever they purchased that house, and that was because of Jimmy Carter. Yeah, see, that's that's the thing they don't want to tell you. Don't want to tell you that you used to also be able to buy, milk, bread, meal for a week for under $1. 10 cents for a loaf of bread. Gasoline was pennies on the dime. It was a different time, Joe. Now you're lucky if you can find a house or even a piece of property under 50 grand that you could grow your own food on. And if you do grow your own food, the state's going to come in, burn it all down, or take it away from you because you've got a regulatory branch of the government that the Supreme Court said no, we don't want them having this control to be able to go after people like this. You've given them control. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's 5.99 for a 12-ounce bag of Lay's. Yeah, remind me, what was the demographics of Delaware? Pretty sure it's majority white. Mhm. We grew up in a black neighborhood. No, a Jewish one. Wait, a Hispanic one. Yeah, he doesn't know. He's the guy.
As small as a three-bedroom split-level home with
Oh,
four
split
kids
level.
and grandpa siblings, but it was a home. And he was able to build some equity. Look, we're making the most significant investment in climate ever in all of history.
Oh, man.
Including the most significant action in environmental justice ever. Look, folks, think about this. My
Environmental
state of
justice.
Delaware, not many of you don't know my state. My state of Delaware has a Delaware River runs up. Okay? But at the top of the state, there's a half moon, and it goes up along more oil refineries on the other side of that half moon.
More oral.
Than anywhere in the country.
Half moon market looking anywhere in the
Guess
country,
what?
including
Wind
Houston.
blows southeast. We had the highest
Okay.
cancer rate for the longest time. Do you know who's affected? Fence line communities. You know the fence line communities are black communities. I promise you, as we make this
Okay.
legislation work, we're going to take care of those communities first. I mean it. Same way in Louisiana.
You haven't done it yet. You haven't done it in the past 50 years.
We received student debt for more than $4 billion.
How does that affect anybody?
Significant amount of black bars.
Oh,
How many have called me? Say,
black bars,
Mr.
huh?
President, I've got phone numbers. I've called them back. Mr. President, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Couldn't get married. Debt was so large. Couldn't have children. Couldn't think of, I'm sure you know it.
But you don't want people to have children. So what's your
But what
point?
you did, you freed me of my debt, and you gave me $10,000 for a down payment on a home.
We didn't. that free money is going to come back and bite
This
you. Yep.
project,
Bye.
2024, Trump, 2025, Trump deal. You know, he talks about education.
Lies, lies, lies.
HBCUs are as good as any other university. Guess what? I'm serious. I'm joking. Kamala and I have a constant fight. She says, Howard's the best. I say Colorado State's. That's how I got my start. But my point is this. They don't have the endowment. So what are the jobs of the future? The high-tech jobs of the future. They pay a lot of money. They don't have the money for the laboratories. They don't have the money for all that material. So that's why I've invested a record $16 billion in HBCUs.
Yeah, $10,000 back then. $10,000 would have gotten you a. It used to be that you could buy a car for under 2,000. Now the cost of your car is the same cost as what a house was back whenever you had that split level. Guess what? Black people can get a home loan since 1964. Amazing, huh? He also doesn't want to talk about the housing market crash that was brought about by bad policies of legislation telling banks that they had to give loans to marginalized community. Trump gonna put them back in them chains. Meanwhile, Trump increased average income among blacks, whites, Hispanics more than Obama, George W., and Clinton combined. Amazing how that works, isn't it? And it wasn't just black communities that prospered out of that. It was all communities that prospered out of that. But, let's not have the hateful rhetoric here.
By the way, making sure that no one goes to jail for the mere use or possession of marijuana. The
Really?
record should be expunged. Opposed to that.
Really? Really? Oh, is that what you're gonna platform on next? Gold chains, Shizzy, gold chains. Yeah. So that's what you're gonna platform on next is that so are you saying that what Camel Toe did in California was illegal, wrong, improper, holding people back? Hmm. Yeah.
Also, because of you, NAACP, making the most significant investments in Black America ever in all of history.
Are you saying that black people
The
are the
same
ones that
results.
smoke weed?
The racial wealth gap is the lowest it's been in 20 years. Inflation is down. In 3 years, it's coming down further, and we're going to have, as they say, a soft landing. Folks, you're going to see us grow faster and faster. That's not just my view. It's the view of 16 Nobel Prize winning economists. We put out a statement looking at my economic plan and Trump's.
What were their
They
names?
said, my plan will continue to lower inflation, continue to
Who were
grow
they?
the economy. Prices are falling. Cars, appliances, groceries. We're going to keep corporate greed at bay. But here's the thing, what they said about Trump. They said his policies will cause a recession. Oh, these are not
Who said
Democratic
this?
outfit.
Yo,
16 Nobel laureates.
where's your receipts? Yo,
Look, I come
Nobel
from the corporate
laureates.
state of the
Is that
world.
Nobel
Delaware.
Prize winners,
I know how they
economists?
work.
What is
More
it?
corporations incorporated in my state than any state in America, all combined. That's what. You have to deal with corporate greed now.
No, most of those corporations are leaving Delaware, and the reason that they were in Delaware in the first place is because that's where they could do their dirty business. But they're leaving. Even the good ones are leaving Delaware. Used to be all your major insurance companies were based out of Delaware. Biggest money scams ever. No, he said 16 Nobel Prize winners. And then he said 16 Nobel laureates. 16. 16 of them. But who? Who were these 16 Nobel laureates? Who? Who are you? Just like when the 51 agents or whatever, the 12 people who heard Trump call military losers. Right. Yeah. Probably the same ones.
How it is. Corporate profits are double since the pandemic. They keep bringing
Pandemic's been
prices.
over.
Now we have to bring prices down further. Look, folks, the
You haven't
the
you raised
idea
gas prices.
that corporate-owned housing is able to raise your rent $300-400 a month or something. But I'm about to announce you can't raise it more than $55.
What? So for all of you, let me get this right. What he just said, and I'll continue on. So all you fine Americans, black, white, Hispanic, that might own property, that use it as rental property. That's your income. That's your grandma's income. She's got a room a house that she rents out because she was building up equity. Because home ownership does build up equity in quite a good way. So that little home that grandma owns, that she was renting at $500 a month, and then whenever tax rates went up and the government started taking more of her money to basically maintain her house, she raised it up to, you know 2000. And then it got worse. We had the pandemic happen, and the cost for her to maintain that house went up. So she raised it to 3000 a month. Well, you know what he just told that nice, lovely black woman? He just told her that she's only allowed it to raise it $55. Although inflation has increased, the cost of maintaining it has increased. You're only allowed to raise it $55. That's what he just said. He just said, "You private entrepreneurs that decided to buy homes to rent out, well, we're not going to let you do that." Those corporate buildings, okay, grandma owns a corporate building. Just imagine she owns like a whole shopping mall. And if they go to raise rent in that shopping mall, they can only raise it $55. That's what he just said. Of course, that's not law. That's just what he said. This is stupid.
But I'm about to announce you can't raise it more than $55. That's the biggest thing in place. Bottom line is just get started.
Yeah, this is a
You know it's
lie.
not enough to talk about the past. We need vision for the future. Here's my plan for the first 100 days of the second term. I'm not calling on Congress to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act.
I don't know what that is. I have no idea.
I mean, all I was constantly able to do is executive authority, and we need the act. And we need to pass the Freedom of the Vote Act. I'll
Yeah,
sign the book
we
of the
already
law immediately.
found the book of
And
the
guess
law.
what? Come hell or high water, we're going to restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land.
Right. Yeah. Not gonna happen. No more years. No more years. No more years.
Congress. Well, guess what? Y'all told me I couldn't pass the Inflation Reduction Act. Y'all told me I couldn't face it anyway. With your help. Republicans blocked the police reform in Congress. So I signed a historic executive order on police reform. I'm going to come back. We'll sign George Floyd and Police Enacting the Law. I'm going to stop that. We'll stop them in their program on 2025. We'll stop them from cutting Social Security and Medicaid. I'm
What?
going to
What are you talking
expand
about?
Social Security and Medicare by making the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
Okay, I'm confused.
The
Now he's
American
just
Promise said
rambling.
we're going to build 2 million affordable homes.
See how much
Cap rent
more the
increases of
crowd.
5% a year so corporate landlords can't. God. And
What?
get very upset. Just counting here. And we're going to keep relieving student debt. And medical debt. We've already made sure medical debt can no longer be put on a credit report. Our normal states will waive out medical debt for pennies on the dollar, so it's not hanging over you the rest of your life. We
Dude.
raised the federal minimum wage. Our first term, we capped the cost of insulin procedures at $35.
Oh, Jesus.
Total drug cost procedures
They're not gonna change
beginning
anything.
in
They're gonna just
2024-5 at $2,000.
everything's
Some of
failing,
those
they're making it
cancer
worse.
drugs are $10, $12, $14,000 a year. But the second term, we're going to do that for not just seniors, for everyone in America.
Uh-huh.
By the way, not only saves lives, but saves taxpayers. Guess what I did on the first round on doing Medicare? It saves the taxpayer $160 billion. You don't have
No,
to
it
pay the
didn't.
exorbitant prices. These, anyway.
What?
This year, Medicare is
Yeah,
negotiating lower
go
prices
lower the cost
for
of
some of the
insulin.
costliest drugs in the market. That threats everything. That treats everything from heart disease to arthritis. In the next term, I'm going to go further. Give Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices for 50 drugs a year, not 10. That not only will save lives, this is save the taxpayer another $200 billion.
This is a lie. This is garbage. Okay, if Medicare is saying, "Yeah, we're not gonna pay you that amount," you know what the drug companies will do? They'll just change the drug. They'll go, "Well, that's no longer available." They'll say, "You've gotta have this drug instead." And of course, you'll change it to going after that particular drug, and guess who's paying for it the whole time? The taxpayers. If you're reducing what Medicare can get, you're you're screwing you're screwing everyone. Yeah, Obama defunded Medicare and Medicaid. He got rid of Medicare and Medicaid and turned it into the Affordable Care Act, or as everyone likes to famously call it, Obamacare. And then they jacked the rates up, and then made it mandatory. Yeah, you, you yeah. So many laws broken, and they just won't stop just for votes. Yeah.
Saving taxpayers. By the way, if you notice, all the stuff they said big spending Biden, we have lowered the deficit, not raised. We
No, you
increased
haven't.
economic growth.
No, you haven't. It has not
Folks,
increased.
here's what else I'm determined to do. Determined to end Trump's tax cuts to the very wealthy big corporations. Make the tax code fair. Ease the burden on working people. I kept my commitment. No one making less than $400,000 I never saw in my life till I got elected president. I pay a penny more in federal taxes. But here's the deal. We have in America, since the pandemic, 1,000 millionaires. 1,000. How much in federal tax they pay? 8.2%. That's the federal tax, 8.2%. We're going to make billionaires pay minimum.
That's another lie. That is another lie that's been made. See, they're conflating one, they're saying one thing about another thing because I have not known a single poor person to ever pay my bills. For sure, funds, presidents, $8 billion. There's 1,000 billionaires. Yeah. Initiate a flat tax, make it fair. You pay only pay taxes on the goods that you use. Yeah, sure.
25%, which is low. No billionaires should pay a lower tax rate than a teacher, a firefighter, a nurse, a janitor. That's simply ridiculous. And when we do that,
This has already
that
been proven to be
alone
a lie.
will generate
It is a lie. It is
$500 billion in revenue over the next 10 years.
no, you won't.
Honest, lower costs for families. It saves the government money. We can do more.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I become a billionaire, do you think that I would continue paying high taxes? Hmm. Or do you think I would find ways to make sure that I didn't have to? Huh. What about the millionaires? It's the billionaires, it's the 1% that's doing so well, which everybody knows that's all been proven wrong. Well, most people should know it's been proven wrong, but they don't know this.
More on elder care, child care, bringing
Yeah.
down the federal deficit, so much more. It's not rocket science, folks.
No, for
They've
you it
convinced
is.
us any spending the money. It's costing, it's saving money.
You're
The
grasping at
Constitution is
straws.
saving money. That's vitally
No,
important. Now, the next
not
president of the United
important.
States could appoint 2 or more justices to the Supreme Court.
Oh, oh no,
Just
here he goes.
imagine.
Bad idea.
I know these things. Folks,
They cannot.
my vision of the future will continue to be all about working people in this nation. And my
Because
whole
they're
career,
illegal.
go back and look at it. I've not been perfect by just stretching imagination. But a simple proposition of the family I come from.
No,
Everybody
can't.
deserves a
I
shot.
think,
Just a shot. No guarantee.
if I'm not mistaken, a nation in history whose goal was that janitors got paid the same as lawyers, yeah, that would be, communist Russia, communist China, where they eliminated anybody that thought or had any sort of intelligence. Germany, 1932, yeah, that's another one. They're all the same.
Give hate no safe harbor. Leave no one behind. As a stark contrast to my predecessor, the Medgar Fisher. They'll do everything. Undo everything the NAACP stands for.
No, they
But now
won't.
they're trying to deny it. They're lying about their Project 2025. They want to deny your freedom.
Do you know who is paying attention to Project 2025? You know who's following it? The Democrats. They're the only ones that seem to be concerned about it. Nobody else really cares. They just think they're a bunch of kooks. It's like the flat earthers. You're like, okay, so you got that group over there. And Project 2025 wasn't even part of the RNC. Bouncing to Mo. Thanks for the morning night. Hey, absolutely, Wookie. Well, I'll be sending everyone over there shortly.
Freedom to vote. Have your own cabinet.
Lincoln Project,
And
yeah.
impose a nationwide ban on abortion. New Vice President, if you ever any doubt, man, just take a look at what he's been saying. They want to prosecute political enemies. They want to cut Social Security and Medicare. Avoid protection provisions and pre-existing conditions for 400
You've
million
been
people.
prosecuting political enemies
Stop
the whole
Medicare for
time.
negotiating lower prescription drug prices. Risking people's lives.
What?
Costing the
Huh?
government more money.
What?
They eliminate the Department of Education.
Oh, please do.
Oh, I ought to read it. Saying it's a state issue. Give me a break, state. You know how well we do with the states. We would cut school lunches.
No, it wouldn't.
Eliminate the Head Start program for
Nothing.
lower income children. Allow employees to stop paying overtime. Employers stop paying.
Project 2025 is this page, 900-page manifesto of some sort that was written by the Heritage Foundation of their wish list of what they want to do in America. That's their wish list. Bunch of a bunch of scholars got together and wrote this. Some of those people just happen to have worked in Trump's campaign, but also some of them probably worked in the Biden campaign. Wouldn't surprise me. It's full of a bunch of thinking heads that want this wish list of things that's never going to happen, which is what America is based on. Things not happening whenever they don't need to. Yeah, projection again. Yeah, it is all but projection. All he has said so far is everything that they've been doing, all of the bad policies they've made that have increased your taxes, increased inflation, made your life more miserable. And for the next 4 years, if he's elected, he is going to do the same thing. There's not going to be any change. It's just going to get worse. That's all he's saying.
And catch this one. Stop paying overtime to hourly workers. It's such a good thing.
No, and no, we have not stopped paying overtime to hourly workers. That's against the law. What happens is they'll come in, they'll say, sorry, no overtime. We're cutting your hours. You want to have a job, no overtime. Go home. Which forces people not to be able to make any money for their time spent there. So now they've got to go pick up a second job because the cost of inflation is so high. Cost of your gas is so high. Getting goods to your major cities is getting higher and higher because of these policies. If they're telling you that your economy is better after 3.5 years of a gradual decline in your ability to buy food for your family, they lie to you like this. Well, just know where they're at. This is their projection.
Or give the very wealthy and big corporate and corporations little taxes. They've already eviscerated affirmative action. And also decimated diversity.
Yes, affirmative action is segregation. DEI is segregation. They want you against one another. He is a moron.
Equity and inclusion all across America. Mike.
Yes, as they should.
Already trying to do it.
They
By
should.
banning books. They're trying to erase Black history.
No, they don't want to erase Black history. They want the history to reflect the truth. The books they are banning are pornography in children's classes. These are the books they want to have removed. They want to make sure that children are not getting these kinds of books because it's inappropriate. Yes, banning sexually explicit books in children's, not banning the books. You can still get the books anywhere you go to. They just don't want kids getting their hands on them in schools or providing them to schools. So it doesn't influence a child's growth. But again, they don't care about the children.
Black history is American history. Folks, I'm not being dramatic, but we cannot let that happen.
Yes, you are.
That's why it's so important to me. It's so important to me to make Juneteenth a federal holiday.
What is Juneteenth? Okay. Okay. Don't think. I think we should just eliminate all federal holidays except for one. How's that? Eliminate all federal holidays except for one. Only one that matters. 4th of July. That's it. Eliminate the rest of them as federal holidays. Don't make them mandatory holidays. Don't give recognition to anybody except for the greatness of our country. How's that? Hmm.
They want to know what happened. That's why I made federal lynching a federal hate crime in Emmett Till's memory, and that's what we've been reminded. What I'm going to try to do,
There is no such thing as a hate crime.
as well as establish national monuments for Mamie and Emmett Till.
No,
So
you
much
tore
more.
down national monuments.
So there's no doubt about what's happened. Look,
You'll tear
folks,
down national
as I
monuments.
said before,
You've
we
been
know
tearing
black
down
history is
national monuments.
American.
This is what happened
As simple as that.
in Virginia,
Let me close with
West
this.
Virginia.
Mom tells us, I've been young and now I'm old. Yet I've not seen the righteous forsaken. I've not seen the righteous forsaken. And I will not. Hopefully, today, I'm demonstrating a little bit of wisdom.
No,
There's like you know. I know how to tell the truth.
no, you don't.
I know what's wrong.
No, you don't.
I know how to do this job.
No, you don't.
I know the good Lord hasn't brought us this far to leave us now. We're working. This will only begin. The work we've been doing, we've been hundreds of thousands of volunteers, for millions of people to make their voices heard. They will determine America's future for decades to come. Folks, that's important. We must all be defenders for freedom, justice, equality, and the bedrock of democracy. There's been no more important voice in that truth than the voices of the black community. Americans still live up to what we say we believe. You don't give up hope, nor do I. We've always loved this country. Anyone that has not loved us back. We work hard as hell. Just think about it. Our children, your children, grandchildren. Ask yourself, what America you want to leave them? My answer.
Well, you mean the
America,
ones who you
hope,
killed, or
fairness, opportunity, possibilities.
even children? Yet you
Look,
want to have them
I spent
destroyed?
more time
I
with
don't
Xi Jinping of China than any other world leader. I was with him in China. On the
When?
steps of the mountain. He
When?
looked at me and he said, "Can you define America?" God's truth. I said, "Important." I said, "Yes, in one word, America. Possibilities. Nothing is beyond our capacity. America, where it's full of promises available to everybody.
Huh?
America, where racism and violence are no longer the ghost of too long haunted the nation. Folks, it's about you and your families. Everything the NAACP has stood for generations. Freedom, democracy, America. Always marching, always believing, always keeping the faith. We're going to do this. So they ask you, are you all in? I'm all in. I guess I remember who we are. We're the United States of America. There's nothing about our capacity to do it together. And let's stay together. God bless you all.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Huh? That was my thought exactly. Like, huh? That was the biggest hokey bull crap that I have ever heard. Oh, Jesus. These people. One day, one day they will get it figured out. One day they will have it figured out. But at least there's some good news here. The House Democrats want to stop early DNC effort to nominate Biden before party convention in August. Contingent of House Democrats is wary of shifting nominating President Joe Biden as the party's pick for re-election, circulating a letter Tuesday raising serious concern about plans for virtual roll call as soon as July 21st ahead of the DNC in August. The letter to the DNC, which has not been sent, says it would be a terrible idea to stifle debate about the party's nominee with the early roll call vote. It could deeply undermine the morale and unity of Democrats. Biden pushes ahead with a robust campaign schedule in Nevada, determined to finish the job and win a second term at the White House. The uneasiness over his candidacy lingers after his halting debate performance against Donald Trump. Nearly 20 Democrats have called for Biden to leave the race, though public calls for him to step aside have stopped since the deletion attempt against Donald Trump over the weekend. Privately, the internal party debate about Biden's future is far from over. Democrats are deeply splintered. The party announced in May it would hold an early roll call. Representative Jared Huffman, who asked pointed questions of Biden on a call with progressive lawmakers over the weekend, the head of the Democrats' task force to oppose Project 2025 that nobody cares about. Republicans don't care. They're just like, no, we don't agree with that. Trump is not endorsed. He doesn't even listen to what they're saying. He goes, I don't know what this is. I have not read it. I don't endorse it. Whatever it is, I don't care. They keep bringing this up like they're going to change that somebody is actually paying attention to it. Nobody cares about it. Good to see you, Rosalind. What is Mumbles yelling about? He's yelling about black people again. He does this on he has to do this every couple of days. That he's got the boot on their neck and telling them that everything is fine. Because this is what he believes. Biden says cooling political rhetoric doesn't mean he'll stop political rhetoric. That's that's all it is. I mean, I could read down through this, but it's just basically saying that he's telling the truth about Trump, but he's not telling anything about Trump. He has been Biden has been in the White House for the past 3.5 years, almost almost more than 3.5 years. He's been there, and the radical changes he's made is what's destroyed the country. And he's pissing on you, telling you that it's raining out. Camel Toe and Vance talked, but they're yet to agree on terms for a VP debate. On Tuesday, they had their first chat since Ohio Senator became the GOP vice presidential nominee, but the two sides are still working on terms for participating in a debate, according to three people. Only three people. Harris has agreed to a debate on CBS either in July 23rd or August 13th. 2 months ago, former Trump agreed to those same dates, or one later on the calendar. On behalf of his then unidentified running mate, but for a debate on Fox News, which Biden team has indicated it would reject. Why? Why would they reject? The people who spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss internal don't care about anonymous people because then I don't take their word for it. Obviously, we want to have a debate. Vance told Newsmax, Vice President Harris, because it's important for the American people to see the contrast. Harris, in her congratulatory voicemail to Vance on his selection on Monday, urged him to accept the CBS debate. Okay. You know what? He doesn't have to accept anything. When I want to hear about what the Dems are focusing on, I go to Facebook and they're definitely worried about the 2025, which is a crack up. That's all they've got. Yeah, because nobody else cares about it. If you're curious and you really want to find out what Republicans are concerned about, it's pretty simple. 4 words. That's all that the Republicans are concerned with. 4 simple words. Make America great again. That is all that they've been concerned with. Last month's debate disaster with Joe Biden, Saturday's attempted assassination, and the ages of both men atop their respective tickets could raise the stakes for running mates' potential face off. Harris is prepared to debate Vance. Okay, we have accepted the proposal from CBS. I think, as folks are aware, to participate in that debate. We feel very good. Pardon me. Warren, who is a piece of trash, the VP will take it to JD Vance. I doubt it. The debate is going to have two parts to it. how strong our vice president is and how good her economic issues are and how wonderful she did as a border czar. Finding someone who could perform well against Harris was among Trump's considerations. At anybody, a 5-year-old child that is mentally incapacitated could do better than Harris. At least I would feel more sympathy towards him. The debate became intense almost as soon as it began. The former state treasurer Josh Mandel attacked investment banker Mike Gibbons. What are they talking about? A raucous debate in which two of Vance's rivals had near physical altercations on stage. Okay. Josh Mandel attacked investment banker Mike Gibbons' business dealings in his opening remarks. Soon the two were standing face to face on the debate stage, shouting at each other. Yeah. But instead of jumping into the fray, Vance tried to be the bigger man. Sit down. Come on, he said, sitting in a row with the remaining candidates. This is ridiculous. Vance, a military veteran, also slammed Mandel as disgraceful for using the Marine Corps as a political football, drawing loud applause from the crowd. What a joke. The performance caught Trump's attention and helped Vance with the former president. Blah, blah, blah. Virginia's two senators, Tim Kaine and Mark Warner, have urged the candidates still hold the debate at the school. Nobody wants to be on. Okay, so we go on CBS. What? The best part about going on those channels is people really get to see the the ones that believe everything comes out of CBS, out of the fake news media corporations. You know what people get to see? They get to see the policies that are correct. They get to see the candidate that they probably didn't know anything about in the first place. They get to see what a horrible, raunchy person that the other candidate is, and they get to make their decision from that. So whenever you say, "Oh, they shouldn't be going on CBS or NBC or anything like that," it gives you a chance to get your point across. There's a reason why they don't go on Fox is because they believe Fox is some sort of right wing thing. No, no, that's not true. Fox is definitely not right wing anyway. What or conservative in any way, shape, or form. 3 days after the attempted assassination, Trump shooter remains an elusive enigma. And if I see this word again, I'm not even going to read this because it had to be written by Chat GPT. If you have an elusive enigma, that is a Chat GPT word. And anytime I see it, I avoid stories like this. Sorry, not going to read it. Not read it. It's got to be written by Chat GPT. And of course, we get to JD Vance, Trump's pick for vice president, will introduce himself to a national audience at the RNC today. So now that I've brought that up, let's bring this poll to an end. And let's see what we've got with our poll. It shows no games, music, maybe, RNC, maybe, and just show up. Absolutely. All right. Well, I will do a stream tonight. We might play a little games, might do a little song and dance. We won't be doing any music. No music for you guys. But what we will do is we'll probably cover a little bit of the RNC and then just have a chat with you guys. I'll be watching the RNC in the background, seeing whenever Vance comes out, because unless it's somebody that I care about, I'm just not even going to mention. I'm not even going to bring them up. Hold on just a second. I've got a call. Well, that was a big one. I need to get some more coffee. But no coffee break today. I had too much to cover this morning. We're hitting that long, long 2 o'clock or 2 hour point. I'm going to be sending all you fine folks over to Mo here. If I'm not mistaken, I think I've got it set up for that. Better double check. And nope, I did not have that set up. Get you guys set up. Sending all you fine folks over to go see Mo. Show her some love. Make sure that you hit the like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. I'm not playing my guitar for you until I get some equipment to do that with, where it doesn't sound like complete ass. Because right now it would sound horrible and it wouldn't be enjoyable. Probably sound really bad. No coffee break is crazy. Yeah, no coffee break today. So like I said, tonight we'll probably cover a little bit of the RNC, but mostly it's just going to be a chill hangout with you guys and just have a little bit of fun. And yes, I've got a couple of songs that I need to work on a new bumpers for this for my coffee break, and I'm hoping that I can do that. And you know, not today. So Elon Musk says he's moving SpaceX headquarters from California to Texas. Did anybody not see that coming? Well, I guess we'll have to find out more about that later. Everybody have a good day. We'll see you soon.
Now I gotta call somebody to come get me because my car turned into a spaceship and I don't know how to fly it. I'm not an astronaut.